Hello, everyone. I'm Jenny McCall. I teach oceanography here at St. Charles North, and I just wanted to give you a little overview of our class and a little bit of information about myself. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully you've heard some great things about class from your students. A little bit about myself there. You can see that picture in the lower right-hand corner. I do have two boys in the district. One actually, this is kind of an older picture, one actually just started at Thompson, and one is a fourth grader at Richmond. So I hear all kinds of great fun things that they're doing in the elementary and now the middle school, and hopefully your students tell you all kinds of great things that we're doing here at the high school. A little bit of background about myself. I took a little bit different route into education. I originally graduated from Michigan State with a Bachelor of Science in Fisheries and Wildlife. I wanted to work for the DNR, and through volunteer work, realized I wanted to go into education. So I went back to school and got my teaching degree at Central Michigan. And I've been teaching ever since. Taught for a year in Michigan, a year in Florida, and then this is now my 18th year, which is great because now I'm seeing brothers and sisters and really start to develop a relationship with them. As far as teacher info, best way to get a hold of me is via email. I'm on email every single day, so feel free to reach out that way. For your students, if they need extra help, I'm available before school, after school. I have half of fourth as a study hall that they can meet with me, and I have fifth and sixth period. If those don't work, we can figure out a way that we can kind of meet up and get them the help that they need. We will be using Google Classroom, so every day we're on there looking at their agenda slides that explain what we're doing each day and has links to handouts as well. Students also have paper copies of those handouts. I did pass out a Unit 1 packet, so they all have all the handouts that they'll need for the first unit with them already. When we take a look at oceanography, one of the great things about it is it's really kind of an application class of all the other sciences and relating that to the ocean. So we'll talk about things that they learned in biology and physical science or chemistry, physics, stuff like that. So it's really kind of looking at how all those other sciences apply to the ocean environment, ocean features, and ocean formation. We really have two kind of big chunks that we break the class into. The first one really takes a look at the formation of the ocean and then how it's changed over time. So we look at not only kind of how the physical structure of the ocean formed, but also looking at where the water came from. And then as those physical features of the ocean floor evolve and change over time due to the process of plate tectonics, they create some pretty unique habitat. So we also then take a look at organisms that live in the bottom of the trenches, 7 miles below, and all the way up at the surface near coral reefs in the shallow waters where we snorkel and scuba dive when we're on vacation. The second unit really jumps into kind of relationships between organisms. So we'll look at why certain locations have a lot of life and other locations not so much. And then also kind of dive into looking at how humans are impacting in both positive and negative ways our ocean environments. We also then, towards the end of this unit, have our own little mini unit on looking at the pros and cons of animal captivity as well. So those are our two kind of big units. We'll have assessments kind of scattered throughout in a variety of different ways. As far as grades go, it's just a straight grading scale, but I always impress upon my kids, please, 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 if you're struggling, please make sure you're reaching out for help so we can get you back on track. As far as grade breakdowns, our tests, unit tests, summatives, major projects, those are weighted the most there with 40%. Our formative assessments, things like quizzes and journal entries, 35%, and then graded homework is 5%. Currently, we are looking at doing final exams. Those will be weighted 20%. However, we've been told that a decision hasn't formally been made, so that may kind of change how our percentages work a little bit. However, our unit tests and summatives will always be weighted more. There's a variety of ways for your students to show their learning in this class. Some of it will be formal quizzes, some of it will be tests, some of it will be projects and presentations, things like that. So there's a variety of ways to try to meet everyone's need as much. I do take late work pretty much until the assignment's been returned to everybody else. For most assignments, there are a few assignments that it's really, really important based on where they fall in the learning sequence that they are turned in on time. And as I told my students, I will make that abundantly clear which assignments cannot be turned in late. However, some late work could suffer loss of points depending on the particular With nowadays us doing a lot on Google Classroom, I always talk to my students about academic dishonesty. So that's either cheating or working together when you're not supposed to, copying, pasting from the internet. And so policy in class that we talked about is if you are intentionally or unintentionally cheating or plagiarizing, you will have the opportunity to redo your assignment for half credit. And that involves both students if there is kind of a sharing of information there. Obviously, there'll be a phone call home. And if it continues, there will be more strict consequences there. But as I mentioned, if your student is ever struggling, please just have them send me an email, have them talk to me. I realize life happens outside of oceanography. So just keep that line of communication open so this doesn't become an issue. Retakes are available on most quizzes. If students have been following along, they've completed their notes and study guide prior to taking the original quiz. If they are interested, I always post remediation work on our agenda slides. They can make a copy of that, get that completed. Then they meet with me to go over that, take a look at their old quiz, and then we set up a time for them to take their new quiz. Their new score replaces their old. So they score a 70 the first time and a 99 the second time, then their new score is now a 99. All of that retake work, all of those steps need to be taken within 1 week from them receiving their grade. So keep that in mind. Class materials, obviously Chromebooks and some headphones or earbuds. We do have we are lucky that we have plugs in our classroom. So if your student's Chromebook is not charged, they can always plug in when they're in oceanography. Obviously something to write with, a folder or a three-ring binder, some extra papers or blank paper to write or sketch on if we're doing some diagrams, our packet of class notes and handouts. And then I have class color pencils and rulers. However, there are times that they will need them. So if they feel more comfortable bringing their own, that would be great as well. As always, please, I'm just an email away or a phone call away. Do not hesitate to reach out. I hope you've heard a lot of great things so far about our class from your students. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to meeting you in the future. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Bye.